We're at the end of day 2 of Horizons 2010. And I'm now joined by President and Founder of IdeaWorks, Jay Sorensen. Jay, thanks for joining us. First question, Jay, you've been here all day.
Yep.
We're reaching the end of the show. What kind of things have you found particularly interesting? What kind of topics have people been talking to you about?
Well, of course I'm going to have an interest in ancillary revenue because that's core to our consulting activity. But moreover than that, I like the buzz that's here in terms of you have people from an IT background, you have people from a marketing and product background, and I am especially excited when they talk about the future in terms of what's going to be happening in the future regarding ancillary revenue or payment methods or how travel is booked online. I enjoy seeing the different perspective that these people bring to the debate.
Jay, ancillary revenue, something that you just mentioned, obviously a hot topic at Horizon, something which is taking the imagination of the airline industry. Just how much of an opportunity is this? And why now? Why is it suddenly something which is so significant?
Oh, because the revenue need has never been greater. I mean, airlines are scratching for every last dollar, euro, or ruble that they can possibly get their hands on. And ancillary revenue is an opportunity, provides an opportunity to realize more revenue. And it has been a hot topic at this conference. It has been a hot topic at conferences for the past 3 years, especially when you see things such as fuel prices going through the roof. So this is something that airlines can do to generate more revenue. But I think, moreover, it's important that not every airline can do this in the same manner. Airlines need to look at their brand. What does their brand mean in terms of their ancillary revenue journey? Some airlines, obviously, such as an airline such as Singapore, their ancillary revenue journey is going to be very, very different than the ancillary revenue journey of a JetBlue or of a EasyJet, for example.
And looking at geographies and looking at different markets, are there some areas of the world that are just going to be more open to ancillary revenues in terms of the end traveller, or is it very much a sort of learning curve and we're sort of feeling how we go?
Well, this whole thing began in Europe. I mean, Ryanair is the father of ancillary revenue as it applies to recent history. But why IdeaWorks likes this topic and why we have chosen to specialize in it is because the need is pervasive. There is no geographical restrictions. I mean, ancillary revenue really, it looks different by carrier, not by region. We're seeing more, but there are regional trends that exist. I mean, for example, we're seeing a whole lot more happening with baggage in the United States and customer conveniences such as early boarding. In Europe, we see the complete array of activity. Probably less emphasis on frequent flyer ancillary revenues. And in Asia, Asia is probably the youngest in terms of adopting ancillary revenue and a la carte pricing tactics. But we see carriers such as AirAsia X, AirAsia, Tiger Airways, Jetstar. They're all leading the way as well. So it's something that's happening worldwide, and I'm delighted to see that, because it just is something. Ancillary revenue is increasing every year in terms of its scope and the amount of revenue that it's generating for airlines worldwide.
So Jay, I believe yesterday IdeaWorks published its 3rd annual report into ancillary services, sponsored by Amadeus. What are the key takeouts? What are the key things that people need to be taking notice of, listening to, having on their radar in terms of the findings of the report?
Well, for the first time, I mean, there's enough carriers that are participating in ancillary revenue activities that the number is large enough that we actually were able to establish different categories of carrier types. And we've identified 4 of them. The top carrier type we've called ancillary revenue champs. And they typically generate about 19% of their revenue from ancillary revenue activities. And these carriers include Allegiant, Ryanair, Tiger Airways, Spirit. And the next category down is kind of unusual because it's major U.S. airlines, which would not normally appear to be a group that was good at ancillary revenue, but they truly are. And they generate about 7% from ancillary revenue from their overall revenues. And this group includes obviously United and American, but their revenue is primarily comprised of baggage fees and frequent flyer activities, frequent flyer partner activities. And then there's the low-cost carriers, and they're usually around about a little bit over 5%, and they generate revenue, ancillary revenue from the complete array of activities, a la carte, frequent flyer, as well as commission-based items sold at the website. And then there's everyone else, traditional airlines, and that's about 3%. So we were able to identify for the first time 4 categories and to slot carriers into each. The other thing that we did is we spent time looking very detailed analysis into 2 specific carriers, Air Asia X, the long haul carrier associated with Air Asia, and also, of course, Ryanair. And then with Ryanair, it's a fun look at the psychology of Michael O'Leary.
So Jay, final question. In terms of ancillary services, how are these actually sold and through which channel?
Well, with low-cost carriers, low-cost carriers typically have their websites and they sell directly to the consumer. And what they sell is really limited by their imagination. But what we see happening is that ancillary revenue and a la carte activity is now moving into more traditional airlines. And what's crucial here is that they be able to sell these products through GDSs. Why? Because we see more and more corporate travelers that are interacting with the a la carte world. And the more that they can do to pre-sell online in advance of getting to the airport, the better off it is for these corporate travelers.
So that's it. That's the end of Horizons 2010. It's been a fantastic couple of days. The theme for this year has been brighter, bolder, better innovation. And I think everyone would agree that it's been a fantastic event. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that's made that possible, to our airline customers, our partners, and our sponsors. And we'll see you next time.